We have 1 minute. I don't think we're getting Aragorn if we're doing Second Age.
I still believe that the marketing is only marketing. It is going to be about young
Mm-hmm. I see.
Tom Hiddleston play Sauron?
Yes, he could. Oh my God. Yeah. Can Tom Hiddleston? Yes. I don't care what the other half of the question is. Yes. Sounds like last week. And the chat should auto-populate when it starts and stuff. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the OneRing.net's Torn Tuesday. I am Chelsea, and at some point, hopefully during this broadcast, Cliff will join me. But in the meantime, you've got me, and we have lots to talk about today. So please join in on the chat, give your opinions. We've got some big news since we were here last week. We got that confirmation about the Second Age, and that's huge. I mean, personally, I want to know what all of you watching are most excited about that we could be seeing from the Second Age. And the Second Age spans hundreds of years, and there's so much different conflict and resolution and building foundations that happen in that time frame. So tell me in the chat, what is it that you're most excited about from the Second Age? And we will start talking about that. In the meantime, because I'm all excited about this map and the Lord of the Rings Amazon series coming, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm wearing the map. I'm wearing a map of Middle-earth today. It's good times. I should have gotten these in leggings too, and then I could have been head to toe mapness. Hi everybody, hi Sarah. Thanks for joining us in the chat and being lively. Ah, Cliff is here. He's coming in like 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Almost, I almost nailed it. But right there he is. There he is. Ha-ha!
Hi there.
All right. Hello.
What's up?
How are you?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing there?
There's your mic.
Hey, what's up? Oh, wow.
And
What was
suddenly
that?
there was a cliff. So
And a voice from the clouds spoke, "Let there be light.
No.
Let me risk a little more light." I guess you're sitting down.
As I usually do, because I'm actually taller when I sit on this bar stool than if I stand.
Okay, hold on. This is all tangled up. And now I'm getting even more tangled up.
Somebody's
Yes, thank you,
asking
sir.
if we think we'll get a full announcement at San Diego Comic-Con.
Hey.
I would love to see some sort of Tolkien panel at Comic-Con this year. It's been missed. We've had our OneRing.net panels, which are always fantastic, but I would love something more official. Maybe Amazon will do even like some sort of fun activation. That'd be cool. All right.
Now you're talking. That would be great.
Yeah.
Some kind of a cool pop-up attraction that is limited to... I don't think Amazon Studios...
They could do a Middle-earth escape room.
Oh, gosh. But no one would want to escape.
Exactly.
People would want to stay
I would
in
show
there
up
forever.
with my sleeping bag and just enter and just find a corner and hide. I am now part of the activation. Thank you, Amazon.
Speak, friend, and leave.
And leave.
That will that will be your escape room, your Middle-earth escape room. Well, my head is being cut off on the camera, so I guess the camera
You
was
got to
set.
duck a little bit.
Well, it was.
Slouch.
I mean, the camera is not. The camera's not set for tall people, and I'm getting a lot of feedback. Well, hello. Hey, you know what, Vicky?
We'll fix all the things.
You're very sweet, Vicky. Nice
Thank
to see
you
you.
for everyone
That's very
giving me
sweet.
lovely compliments about my dress. It's very sweet of all of you.
It's fantastic. I'm like, and hello, hi, nice
Hi.
to see you. As
So,
far as
so Cliff, I asked all of them in the chat because we got confirmation this week about the Second Age. But you, what are you most excited about that we could be getting from the Second Age?
well, I don't know how to say this to everyone, but just because the map is showing us stuff from the Second Age, that does not mean that the opening of the story is going to be set in the Second Age.
It's very true. But
Everyone,
if it is,
everyone from like IO9 and Gizmodo and sci-fi.com, they've all been saying, well, the OneRing.net was wrong and it's not going to be about young Aragorn. And I'm like, wait a minute, how many maps are up there?
yeah,
Some of them are Third Age.
yep.
One of them is Second Age in particular. And one of them is blank, like a coloring book.
Yeah.
The idea to me is that this website might be a functional online wiki
I was
of
about to
background
say.
and context and story. And
It's going to be an interactive, like, encyclopedia that you can reference back to as you get confused
Absolutely.
watching all of the new history.
yes, it is not specifically, and I'm going to duck down here because you still can't see me, it is not specifically a map that confirms that the original theory that the OneRing.net put out a while ago, it doesn't counteract that the story
go. Thank you,
might be-
JC.
Thank you, JC. You're the best. It might be about young Aragorn anyways.
It could be.
But-
And it could be about none of these things we've discussed at all. We really have no idea.
To be intellectually honest, that is just as likely. And Chelsea's right. That's just as likely as anything else. What's the question, JC?
The origin story for the
Oh,
Sackville
gosh.
Baggages? I would watch it, I mean.
Okay. If Hannah is trying to Skype in, thank you. Sarah, I don't know. Well, I guess we're going to have to turn on Justin. Well, Justin is not able to do the technical jiggery pokery, so we cannot take any Skype calls
Jiggery
into the
pokery.
show this week. So our apologies to Hannah
But we love you,
and
Hannah.
others.
We miss you.
All right, now let's take hold on. Take a look at this, guys. If the map is just to give us all the background information in the world that fans could ever want to know before the release of the series and during the release, having an online wiki like that is really kind of clever, really clever
Absolutely.
marketing because it has fooled us and thrown everybody off the scent.
It's sort of like what Disney
think.
tried to do years ago with home video when they had that second screen app. Do you remember? And that failed horribly. But it was supposed to pop up on like your iPad as the movie was going with little tidbits of information. Amazon could do something like that and make it even better.
You mean this online map could function with stuff while the show is on?
It's possible. They
Okay.
could make it that interactive.
Here's what I think is the most significant. And Chelsea, all right, come around, gather around the campfire with me while I pull out my guitar. Gather around the campfire, kids, because this is Torn Tuesday. Welcome
is.
to the OneRing.net. And hey, I'm Clifford. This is Chelsea.
Yeah.
Let's talk granular details about Numenor and this map and what's going on. Well, here's what I think. Amazon is more interested in showing off the fact that they have licensing within the scope of a much larger framework than they are in convincing us that welcome to the Second Age, which is on all their social media, and that statement on Twitter, that does not necessarily mean the TV show is going to start with season 1, episode 1, in the Second Age and the Forging of the Rings. This interactive map is probably there for us to digest all of that background and story to get people, what you'd call, get them up to speed by the time the series starts. What do you think of that? This might be the single most controversial point of view from an official, big Tolkien community, which is what we are. We're like the biggest community of online Tolkien fans. But to be counterintuitive to what everyone else has concluded, I think that we should be prepared to still have young Aragorn as the opening season because the actor from The Walking Dead said, I'm not cutting my hair. I'm up for the role. I'm involved in the casting. They're casting young Aragorn. I'm going to keep my hair this way.
What if it's another character named Aragorn that's not the Aragorn we know?
Oh my. It could be. There was an earlier Aragorn, like way back.
It's true.
Chelsea, you're onto something. All right, what do you guys?
Also,
in the
Hannah
chat
just said in the chat, she asked if she could call in again. If you missed it earlier, Hannah, we don't have a way to do Skype, but if you have our numbers, you can call us. We can hold you up to the microphone like we sometimes do.
Can you make a call using WhatsApp instead of making an international call? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes, you can.
So come in the show via that way. How about that? I'm so excited about this map. I'm excited about the content of the map. There's so much going on. But, you guys, the jury is still out on this. And as a fan community, this gives us much more room to breathe and consider what's going on. I mean, I am not convinced, because if they had removed all the Third Age maps, you know, the stuff that had mentioned Kalanarthon, and the stuff that mentioned Minas Ithil, which is what it was before it was Minas Morgul.
There we go.
Yeah. Because the Third Age maps are up there with the Second Age maps, I just think that they're giving us a smorgasbord of places where
We
they
have
can
a
drop
phone
in.
call.
They can drop all kinds of information on us. Hey, you just called the OneRing.net. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, guess who?
Is this who I think it is, Hannah?
Who do you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is that you? How you doing?
That's correct. I'm doing well. I
Awesome.
wanted to call into the show really quick because I'm on lunch break, and I forgot that you guys had daylight savings recently.
Oh my God, this girl is calling us from Weta. She's
Yes,
working at
on her
Weta.
lunch break.
On her bloody break. Coming on a lunch break.
That's how much she loves and misses us. So Hannah, it feels like you had something like urgent that you wanted to share with us, or like an opinion. What's going on?
I can barely hear what you just said, Chelsea. I'm sorry.
Okay. How about what was that? Well, I asked that question again. I'm sorry. I was reading what Izzy was saying in the live chat.
Closer to the phone so she can hear me. I said it seemed like you were excited or like wanting to say something, share something quickly. I was like, so what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just wanted to call in and say hi.
Aw. That's great. We take all sorts of well wishes and greetings and salutations.
You guys, I want the whole entire audience to know that we love it when you call in just to say hi. We love that too. So
Absolutely.
well, Justin's being a grumpy.
Justin has a black cold heart, so we.
Grumpy Gus. All right. So hey, Hannah, I love hearing your voice, but let me ask you: do you think that the TV series is going to start with the forging of the rings and with Sauron, the Deceiver, being like the main entry point of character instead of young Aragorn for season 1? What do you think?
It could transition into young Aragorn. Go from that to young Aragorn, I think, maybe, but I'm not quite sure. I think that might be like the logical route to go through.
Yes.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite likely. It's a good possibility.
I do think they could just use it to frame telling the story of his ancestors too, where there's maybe a bit of jumping around in timelines.
Yes. Well, a lot of people have speculated that either Sauron, in disguise as someone else, as Anatar, or even Elrond would be the focal point of Second Age stories and dealing with the Numenorian refugees who came to the shores of Middle-earth. What do you think about that, Hannah?
Yeah, I think they're probably going to go the Sauron route because, casual fans will be like, oh, I don't know who that is, but it's like Sauron. It's like, oh, yeah, I know who that is. And that there's more to explore with his character instead of a giant flaming eye. You know?
Yes.
There's more I feel like they can do with Sauron, if you get what I mean.
Yes. Okay, I hear you. There's a lot of people in the chat saying that they really cannot hear you, really. Sorry about that, Troy. But you know what? We're doing our best with this technical...
We're doing the best we can, holding the phone up to the microphone.
Holding this, yeah, but yeah, tell you what, it is an intriguing probability that that Elrond has been around for thousands and thousands of years, why wouldn't he be an excellent focal point of bringing together the story of elves and men as he did?
But if we bring Elrond and Galadriel back into the story, are we getting the original actors to portray them?
There's the rub. There's the rub. Okay. Hannah, do you want a new Elrond, or do you want Hugo Weaving and Cate Blanchett to come back? And that'll be my last question for you, dear.
That's a double-edged sword there, my friend.
Hannah said it's a double-edged sword, if you couldn't hear her.
I'm still upset that Red Skull was not really Hugo Weaving, but they fooled us into thinking it was. I thought, I want my Hugo Weaving right now. In my Avengers Endgame and in my Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
Yes, I do.
everywhere.
What do you think, Hannah?
Okay, well, I just wanted to call and say hi real quick because I'm on lunch break. So I'm going to let you guys do the show.
All right. Well, it was good to hear from you, Hannah. We miss you.
Yeah, it's great to hear your voice, Hannah. We do miss you. Thanks for calling in on your lunch break, okay?
Somehow I doubt that, though. Not going to lie. I'm just joking.
That's fabulous. All right. I hope you're enjoying the weather down on the opposite end of the world.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
Oh, very nice. Okay, love. You take care of yourself, and we'll have you call in very soon, okay? Okay. I will. Thanks, Mom. Bye.
Bye.
She's like, you better take care of yourself. That's so funny.
We have a lot of wonderful comments that have been going on in the chat while that was happening. People hoping that they see Sauron in some form of Anatar as a main plot point of the series. Also, just a lot of people hoping for flashbacks of the First Age, the way that we saw flashbacks of the Second Age in Lord of the Rings. Lots of good stuff to work with there. And somebody brought up a great point that Hugo Weaving would be cheaper than Cate Blanchett at this point.
Yes. Now, Eravana Undomiel says, Cliff, what if the focal point of the first season of this series is based on Elros, which, of course, is Elrond's twin brother, and it goes down the line of the kings of Numenor to Aragorn? Yes, please, and thank you.
Yes, that's all I was going to say. Yes, please.
Yes, please. Yes, please, and thank
Absolutely.
you. That's great. I'm totally down for that.
Justin, what is all the beeping go?
Yeah. Why is Skype going crazy over there?
Hannah keeps
But
calling on Skype, apparently.
Actually, she stopped calling because she just finished this regular call. That might be other calls that came in from before. Hey, now, way down here. Oh, yes, Rak Ronduel is correct. The Akalabeth is really Sauron-centric. I would love to follow this model. I think since they have the ability to be an anthology series, the entire season might bounce. You guys need to consider the possibility that they're not going to make, maybe they won't, maybe they will, 10 episodes or 13 episodes, all covering one single story arc. They're not beholden to that. They might start with one big episode of
I
the
think if
Forging
they're
of the
smart,
Rings.
they're going to weave it the way Game of Thrones weaves storylines.
Yeah. Do you know what they should do? Keep coming back to it. And that means there's the explanation for why there's multiple maps. Because if the series starts at point A and keeps flashing back to points B and C in the far, far past, people who are watching online and don't have access to lots and lots of books in the History of Middle-earth series, or they don't have a copy of the Atlas of Karen Wynn Fonstad, every time that TV series bounces, flash forward in time, flash back in time, everybody's going to have this online map. This is a useful wiki. I don't think it indicates that the series launch is going to steer very far away from my original prediction. My original prediction. Because when
Justin
Aughra
claims his prediction.
when Aughra tells you, you know, what was sundered and undone shall be whole, the two made one, it is Aughra's prediction. And she got it right. She got it right. Always consider...
Yes. And the languages.
Always consider that. The languages were there, and the idea of the map was there before the full narratives were written. Really interesting, but, this is how his mind worked. Dave Lewis says, since it's 5 seasons, could we be seeing the fall of Numenor and the consequences perspectives? Yes, Dave, we could at any point in this story. Because we suspected that they only had the license to the appendix in the back of Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Now these bloody maps show us that they have
a bigger license than we thought.
And this is farther-reaching consequences for the series and for us as fans.
When did we start talking about the Dark Crystal?
I just threw that in.
Oh, I missed you saying it.
I
was like, well, where did that come from?
I was doing Aughra's prophecy.
Yes.
What's the question?
We need a dress like mine, but for the second age map, because this is the third age.
There should be just a strictly Numenor map for the next outfit.
Yes.
Just Numenor.
That would be awesome.
Atlantis. I love Numenor. I love it. I love the story of Numenor. Okay. Stand on a box and do the full Kilroy. Oh, I'm thinking about it. Okay. All right. So here in the chat, Salman says, frankly speaking, Aragorn was next to Gandalf in previous series. But if the original Aragorn actor plays the role,
Viggo Mortensen,
that'd be a bombastic success. Otherwise, I don't see people would accept Aragorn played by a different actor.
I think if we're looking at a young Aragorn, you could definitely get somebody that resembles Viggo and have somebody else playing it, though.
And when he becomes king, Elisar, when he becomes king, Telkontar, he becomes King Elisar, obviously. He could be existing Viggo Mortensen as 4th age, Aragorn as the king, and then give me the flashbacks. Give me Sean Astin to come back as older Samwise, and his daughters are grown up a little bit now, and he's sitting down reading from the Red Book of Westmarch to his grandbabies.
Although at this point,
to his grandbabies.
Sean this week tweeted sent him something about the series, and he said his response to being involved was, "I'm gonna watch it." So don't know if we're gonna get any of those flashes of Samwise yet.
I would like Elrond or even Elros to come and be sharing these stories. So, that's the other way. And what was the end of that statement from Salman? Was there anything? What else did he say? Secondly, we need to know more about the forging of the ring. Sauron comes in flashes, and this character needs more screen time.
I agree.
I believe the actual actors should play the role. We are immensely attached with these actors. Yes, Salman, we are. We are indeed. Wow. Please move the map. Is the map blocking you?
I'm guessing, is the map on the screen right now, Justin?
Is it blocking us? All right, our voices are enough. Hey, you can hear our voices. All right, what?
Everybody wants to see Cliff, though. He's the one talking.
That's okay. I'll just lean in. Hey.
Yay.
Hey, what's
Cliff,
up?
my buddy.
What's up? Okay. Move the map. He's not moving the map. He's just covering the map over my face. So everyone's asking you to move the map, Justin. So
the entire chat room is lit right now.
Arawana says, maybe we can see Eldarion at the end of the series as a young boy or a young man. That'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant, okay? So, no hobbits or wizards in the Second Age? Well, James, that's a good question. What we know is that the hobbits had not settled the lands of the Shire in the Second Age. And in the Third Age, when there was the fell winter and the incursions of the Witch King of Angmar, that was when there were the Stores and the Harfoots and the Fallowhides. The first 3 original groupings, cultural groupings of hobbits were just about to migrate over in the early Third Age. So I don't think we're going to see any hobbit stuff dealing with Second Age materials.
Unfortunately.
It's going to be about Sauron doing a Loki number and assuming a secret identity like a Skrull,
being
I guess.
mischievous.
Being a Skrull, Sauron, but being not the good kind, being a bad kind of Skrull, to hide his identity.
But I think there are wizards during that time, isn't there?
I believe that the wizards showed up let's see now. Oh boy, this is a test of lore.
Like I
Deep
feel like
lore.
towards the end of the Second Age, we have a Saruman.
Towards the end of the Second Age is when the Sauron showed up first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they showed up at different stages in time. I'm pretty sure that it was late Second Age or early Third Age by the time Gandalf had showed up. Yeah, okay, now I'm being covered by Nicholas Holt. Yeah, all right. All right, so
no matter what, today's game is going to be what can we block Cliff's face with?
Yeah, okay, great. Just keep blocking me. Do you know what? Can you find Grimace from the McDonald Land characters?
Oh my God.
Because that's how I'm feeling right about now.
Aww.
Cover me with the giant purple blob guy,
The
Grimace.
poster sounds just like Cliff. It's a new talking poster. It's you know, like Harry Potter, those moving pictures. Speaking
so
of the
funny.
poster, I believe the poster that should be seen in this area right now is the exclusive OneRing.net poster for Tolkien.
That Fox Searchlight is releasing on May 10th in North America.
And then it will be one of 2 posters for Tolkien.
Yes, indeed.
Cliff's doing
Well,
some
I'm just
heavy
doing a quick
wiki
little-
searching about wizards.
Just a quick little thing.
Where did I get the map dress? I bought this from a shop at WonderCon many years ago, and I don't remember the shop that I got it from.
They came to Middle-earth at around 1000 of the Third Age.
They,
So,
as in the hobbits or the wizards?
Saruman, the first of the
Saruman.
Istari. The Istari did not show up in Middle-earth in the late Second Age.
Should Amazon be merching
It was in the...
map already?
Thank you. We've got a... Who?
Should Amazon be selling merch already based on the map? I say yes. Merch it all.
He says in the side gallery, this peanut gallery over here, Justin says that should Amazon create merchandise for all these maps that they're putting up online.
And he's asking if they should create them now, if we should have merch now for the maps. Now Chelsea is a purple Muppet.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay. Well, that's Grimace. He actually did put Grimace up on. Thank you.
But apparently I'm Grimace.
That is Grimace. Grimace was the... Did you know that there was a 6th wizard? That's right, the purple wizard. Thank you, Scott. That's funny. So there was a white wizard, a brown wizard, a gray wizard, 2 blue wizards, and then there was Grimace, the purple wizard of French fries. He was the wizard of French fries in Middle-earth. And in case you didn't know, Professor
I'm sorry,
Tolkien...
Were these fries baked or fried
cr-
or
Did you know that McDonald's...
breaded?
McDonald's...
Sweet potato?
I've been told recently that they coat their frozen French
Yes, they
fries
do.
with powdered sugar before they ship them away.
Yes.
Sugar on your French fries
Yep.
while they're frozen.
Big sugar is in everything.
There is powdered sugar on your McDonald's French fries before they cook them, in case you didn't know that. Anyways,
Oh, Pete, that's really nice of you. If geography teachers wore dresses like Chelsea's, no one would ever cut class.
oh, that's funny. Thanks, Pete.
Ow!
Do you know what? As far as getting merchandise out of the maps, the only one that I think is really significant is the map of Numenor. That could be everybody's favorite new map. It could be a standalone poster size over your, in your room.
I don't want just like a paper poster though. I want like
I
a
love
nice
it.
like scripture type paper, like a scroll, and like maybe printed like a leather map with Numenor that I can frame. That would be
Ooh.
awesome.
I know. I met a guy at WonderCon who does leather maps in recreations of fantasy worlds far and wide, and it's amazing. What he
There's
does.
a company called Foreign Realms that does it, and they make leather maps of Westeros and Zelda and everything else you can imagine.
I'm down. Maybe Thra. I would love a leather map of the world of the Dark Crystal, which is
Yes.
Thra. Okay, I'm loving it. It used to be Mithra.
For those that don't
They
know,
changed it.
Cliff recently picked up the Dark Crystal board game, and he is relearning and reigniting his passion for the Dark Crystal ever since he has picked up this game again.
The news that we had gotten out of the last New York Comic-Con, where they had this great interview with the director of the series and with Lisa Henson, Jim Henson's daughter,
Yes.
and how excited they were filming 10 hours of the Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. And allegedly, it's the most expensive thing that Netflix has thrown money at. Even more
Do
expensive.
we have any idea when it's coming yet?
Later this year. Unknown.
It's
But
still just at some point in 2019.
Rumors October.
Ooh.
The rumors October of this year. But imagine they spent more money on the Dark Crystal than they did on the Umbrella Academy, which is the hottest thing on Netflix right now.
Which the Umbrella Academy really didn't need a lot of money in that production.
No, it didn't. But and really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the series very much. Guess what? I am telling you, folks, it's a great time to be a fantasy fan. If Amazon is going to dump that kind of money on a Middle-earth series and make it that good, we're in for a treat. We're in for such a treat. Do I want the giant map? Yes, I want the giant map of all of Middle-earth, and I want it to be like a $1,200 wall mural that covers an entire 12-foot by 19-foot wall. I want it to be
I would
massive,
take it as a throw, like
a
a
wrap.
blanket, like a...
a wall wrap.
Yeah.
You know the kind?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I
Yes.
would take it as also just like a blanket for the couch, like coffee mug.
How about a slip cover for my Mustang?
Now, if Amazon makes this
Slip cover
merch,
for my
do we
car.
get royalties for coming up with the idea?
I guess
Just-
so. Okay. The thing that says the folks at Etsy, that's right, Arowana, folks at Etsy are going to be making clothing and other things based on Numenor's
People
map.
at Etsy start making
Yes, they are.
everything as soon as they possibly can. So I'm sure we will see maps of Numenor and the Second Age on Etsy very soon.
Yes. You know what, Troy? He says Numenor looks like a starfish. That's a great analogy. Numenor is supposed to look like a five-pointed star. It is. It's a star. And it is sometimes, it is even referred to as the Isle of the Star. There are many names for Numenor.
Netflix is making a Narnia
cool.
series. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then apparently also you can watch The Dark Crystal on Amazon Prime now, which I might do later tonight.
Thank you, Kay, for telling us that. But I have my original Blu-ray, and the restoration on the 1080p high-definition Blu-ray of The Dark Crystal that was just released a few years ago is so pristine, so fantastic. When you go to the cinema and see one of those things from Fathom Events where they're re-releasing The Dark
Yep.
Crystal for one night only at a theater, well, guess what? They're running it off the Blu-ray. Okay? I'm not going to stream a pixelated version of The Dark Crystal. I'm watching my Blu-ray because it's gorgeous.
Speaking
it's so
of
gorgeous.
this stuff, a
Seriously.
little sidebar. Disney this week announced that the entire motion picture library for everything Disney will be on Disney Plus streaming service, and we're talking about films that have not been released in
You
home
mean
video.
The Song
yet.
of the South?
Like, yeah, well, Pollyanna, like
Pollyanna and
just
the Black
Parent
Cauldron.
Trap, the original, all of these. So
Yeah.
that's all going to be on Disney Plus. But do you think this is the downfall of home video? Do you think
Yeah.
we're not going to get the Blu-ray? You're not going to have this pristine quality that you're just raving about?
That is the double-edged piece of that sword. That is the sword that cut the ring from Sauron's fingers. It is true that my favorite thing in the Disney universe, the Black Cauldron, has never been released in anamorphic widescreen on any digital media of any kind, and it has not been released in a cleaned up, restored, high-definition 1080p, much less a 4K version. Doesn't exist.
Which,
So,
if you haven't
wow.
seen the Black Cauldron, it has, to me, it reminds me a lot of Tolkien. I think it's Disney's take on the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
Yep.
Especially Gurgi reminds me of Gollum a lot with his
Very
munchies
much
and
so.
crunchies, or a little more Smeagol maybe.
Yeah, Gurgi is also what people say is a cheap analog of Smeagol, but Lloyd Alexander wrote those characters very, very differently than the way they end up in the animated film. This is fascinating to me. Okay, what was I just looking up? Oh, I was looking up the other names of Numenor, because there's some good ones. There are many, many names for Numenor.
Which
Right.
version of the Mickey Mouse Club are you wanting to be on Disney Plus? The original Mickey Mouse Club or the 90s Mickey Mouse Club?
Also called Elana Nore in Westerness. Yep, there it is. Wow, and it was Elros. Elrond's brother, was the founder of Numenor.
Yes.
And it was also known as Anadune. Anadune was one of the names of the Isle of Elena. Yep, Elena, which is Elvish for star. Elena.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's right.
It looks Tony, I think, Troy. I cannot read from here. Troy says, I know people who still own Laserdiscs for that reason, Chelsea. I know people that own Laserdiscs too. It kind of baffles my mind because you can't really find players or Laserdiscs in stores anymore, but people are still holding on for dear life. But I guess I still have my VHS.
That reminds me of that Cowboy Bebop episode, which is far into the future, where one of the characters needs to find a VHS player that doesn't exist anymore to find the secret to Faye Valentine's background, which is on a tape, a VHS tape. I love Cowboy Bebop, one of the best shows ever. Okay, let's see. Black Cauldron was amazing. Watched it when I was a kid. Disney's darkest film. That's why it's so great. Yes, Gordon. Yes, sir. 1,000 times. Yes, please. More Black Cauldron. The Chronicles of Prydain have been licensed by the Disney powers that be, so we might get a whole new live action series or combination series with revisiting those worlds, the world of Prydain and Taran and, Princess Eilonwy and one of the most terrifying villains in the entire canon of Disney films, the Horned King, played by John Hurt, who was also Ollivander, by the way. Okay, how about that? Middle-earth map of Numenor, there it is.
Okay, I need to hear the rest of this story. Somebody just started their comment with, my cat broke my VHS, which, do you mean a specific VHS or your VCR? And either way, how?
Where does that, wait, all right. I'm going to try to get down to where, that was this way, sorry.
There's no map on our face currently?
Thank God. All right, I'm trying to get through this.
Good, okay. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, the black hole was also Disney trying to get into sci-fi with a little bit of violence on the side.
Speaking of Disney and darker things, with that merger of Fox coming closer and closer, did you know that Hulu is majority owned by Fox, which is now becoming Disney, and that Disney is in talks with Warner Brothers to buy out their share of Hulu, which would make Disney the owner of Hulu? And Disney's plan is for the family-friendly content to be shown on Disney Plus, while everything that is a little rougher, darker, edgier will stay on Hulu.
You think so?
That's what they're currently trying to go for. Well, I don't know what they'll take away if that happens. They might actually work in some sort of licensing deal there. Who knows?
Really?
Yep. So that's the plan right now, is that Hulu keeps the edgier, darker Disney content, so that way Disney Plus can still have the Disney branding.
So that means when you watch The Black Hole and the robot Maximilian turns on his evil spinning blades and chops through Anthony Perkins' chest and he gets chopped up in a bloody mess, we're not going to see that except on Hulu. There's a reason why The Black Hole terrifies young children as a bit of sci-fi. It's really dark. I'm talking about the science fiction film The Black Hole. Anthony Perkins, from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Yeah, we're talking, and Robert Forster is the lead. Yvette Mimieux, Maximilian Schell.
The cat
you know this
stories
movie?
in the chat.
The man on Twitter asks, didn't the original epilogue end with old Samwise retelling stories to children?
The original epilogue of Peter Jackson's films allegedly ended not with Samwise coming back home, but an epilogue where it was way in the future with older Samwise reading stories to his children from the Red Book. Is that...
Cliff is answering a question from Twitter.
That's a great question from Twitter. That is a great question from Twitter. I do not know about that. Wow. Have you heard about that?
No, I hadn't heard.
They filmed it. We need to confirm with Sean Astin.
Really? Amazon has the rights to all of this?
Well, this is true. Again,
Okay.
for people
That I
who are
did
coming
not
to
know.
this conversation, there is a lot of licensing involved for $500 million. Amazon Studios not only has a license to the book or other books, according to these bloody maps, they have a license to more books than we thought they had. But even more important, they have access to unused film footage that Peter Jackson made for all 6 of his Middle-earth films. All of them. All the Hobbit films, all the Lord of the Rings films have footage used and unused. They have a license to appropriate that footage and use it. So
I need to see
wow.
all of it.
I'm
Would it satisfy both of you if the show opens with the framing device of Sean Astin retelling the story?
If the series, so Justin's asking if it would satisfy both of us if the footage they filmed of Samwise retelling the story kicked off the series on Amazon. I mean, any opportunity I get to see our hobbits again will make me happy.
The answer is yes, because one of the larger conceits that Professor Tolkien had was that the Red Book of Westmarch was something of like a what if modern day 20th century Oxford professor finds this old red book of what the hobbits had been writing of their history and then gives us the Lord of the Rings as a translation or a transliteration of the original common tongue of Westernness. And so if that conceit was always within Professor Tolkien's mind, that Red Book of Westmarch is the component that is the doorway for all of us people in the primary world to go into his secondary world through that red book. If Amazon wants to keep going with that conceit, then yes, they can do so. Isn't that crazy to think about that, Chelsea? That's just weird.
Also, is he the hero of Lord of the Rings? And is he the right narrator to continue the story?
The question is Samwise the narrator of The Lord of the Rings, and should he be the narrator to continue the story? Well, we better ask Sean Astin. Sean, are you watching the show, buddy? Has Amazon Studios called you, Sean, to say, come be involved? Do you want to do it? Do you want to come back to Middle-earth? Come on, Sean Astin. I love you, brother. We would love to have you come back.
I mean, again, he just tweeted this week that he plans to watch the series as his only involvement so far. But, I mean, he could have all of the NDAs in the world.
Thank you, Salman. We love you, too. This is great to have you on the show with us. All right. Scott is now talking about the Unicorn Edition. Ellie is asking, is there going to be a movie and a series? No, Ellie, there's only going to be a TV series. It will only be on Amazon Prime. There will be nothing theatrically released in film form. Not at all. However, HBO once talked about that possibility, did they not? They said maybe we'll do one final season of Game of Thrones, and then we'll finish everything with one single motion picture as a big finale. That's something that I heard whispered a couple of years ago. So I guess it's within the realm of probability, but I don't know. No one's made any announcement about that. As far as we know, we're only looking at 5 seasons of television, not any theatrical film at all.
One of the safest things that they can do is open the show, fade into the title, and there's a familiar sound.
Would you like a microphone? All right, Justin is. Then we just have to repeat everything you say.
Justin keeps giving us all of the clues off camera and prompts, and nobody can hear, so we're apologizing for the silence.
Plausible deniability. Okay. All right.
The level of security on The Lord of the Rings on Prime is tighter than any film project ever.
That's
not
true.
true.
It's not
but
true?
close.
What it seems to be like. What would have been the closest held
Star
script?
Wars.
Yeah, that's probably the best. Star Wars Episode 1 trailer editing was the ultimate lockdown in security in Hollywood history.
Also, anything
Probably.
Apple does ever.
You know what, Scott? I do not remember an animated film on HBO from the 80s with Vampire and Frankenstein and a few other monsters. I'm not sure what that would be.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
We talked about when they first announced it that Amazon was $1 million has to play safe. So what's the safest movie that they could do? Opening frame, first character you see. What's the safest movie?
All right, the suggestion from our producer, who is still our peanut gallery off screen, is that what is the safest move for Amazon to make? What is the opening shot, opening scene, person in the frame?
Yeah.
Who's the
Which
person?
character do we kick it off with?
That is the
move.
safest bet to get what? Safest to what? To satisfy the fans? To okay, he says there's $1 billion on the line. What's the safest bet? I think the opening shot, actually, the opening shot should be darkness with the voice of somebody speaking in Elvish over the darkness, just like Cate Blanchett did.
Yes.
And then that voice, bless you, I guess we don't know whose voice it is yet, but then the voice also speaks in the common tongue as the Elvish is slowly faded to the background. So in the darkness, you hear the voice of someone speaking. And that opening frame in blackness should be either Elrond, played by none other than Hugo Weaving,
Yes.
or we should reintroduce Cate Blanchett, because you know what? She was alive thousands of years ago during the Second and Third Age early parts. She was there, so yes.
I'm going to read this comment. I'm done with Star Wars. The fandom isn't the same as it was before, and I'd rather stick with the Tolkien fandom. I just want to throw that out there. JC, did you somehow write this?
Hey, Arowana, we love you. Thank you for that sentiment. We do believe that Tolkien fans are the best behaved.
Absolutely. Ringers all the
Bunch.
way.
We are the bunch. Okay, we're the best of the bunch. Galadriel, opening with, my name is Glorfindel. I get dissed and I'm pissed. Yay! Pete, I don't mind opening with a different character. It doesn't
The voice of
necessarily have to be-
Anatar?
It could be the voice of Sauron. It could be Anatar as that opening voice. Yeah. Yeah.
If you use the Star Wars model, which is Darth Vader everything.
What?
You
No, hold
open
on.
with-
No, what was the first part of your sentence?
If you use a Star Wars model, which is just Darth Vader everything.
You mean on this show, Amazon should use a
would
Sauron model
you use,
for everything?
Yes, you open with Sauron because new people will be like, ooh, this is dark and cool, because dark without context is still equivalent to good nowadays. But people like you and me will be excited because we'll see him. Like, we'll see it.
Yes. Well,
You start with the bad guy.
it also makes sense because the story is named after him. He is the Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
It's him. He is. There is only one.
And I agree with whoever it was that said
Lord
it
of
earlier
the
that
Rings.
there needs to be more screen time. Like, we barely really know much about Sauron from the Lord of the Rings movies and The Hobbit. I was like, we know how powerful he is, but there's no emotional attachment to this person, which could be interesting to see him deceiving the elves. I would like to feel the hatred for Sauron the way that I feel it for Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. The hatred. Yeah. I'm with you on that. All right. Everyone's saying, can we have Benedict Cumberbatch come back? Hi, Stephanie. Welcome to the show. Do you know what? I associate Benedict Cumberbatch and his voice with the dragon Smaug much, much, much more than I associate Benedict Cumberbatch or any of his unique idiosyncratic qualities with the necromancer. I don't get it. So I'm fine with Anatar / younger Sauron being someone else. Someone else.
Absolutely.
How about an unknown actor?
It's a fresh voice. I mean,
A
it can be
fresh
a
voice,
known, but
yeah.
like I still,
Yeah.
I kind of liked Justin's suggestion earlier of doing like Tom Hiddleston, which if Tom Hiddleston is Loki and Sauron is kind of the Loki of this world, I was like, it would be kind of interesting to have Hiddleston.
But he's an old god. So could he be like a geriatric stunt?
Just because he's an old god does not mean he needs to be a geriatric actor at all. Like, I imagine that the
Bill Mendelsohn. Let's get Bill Mendelsohn to come in and be Anatar. I meant Ben.
I just
I meant
imagine
Ben,
that the Maiar are just don't age the way that like elves seem to just look young forever. That they're these beings that are beyond what we're able to be as men. And especially, I mean, Sauron is a shapeshifter. I was like,
Yeah.
literally can look and deceive us to be anything that Sauron wants.
Like a scroll.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Of course.
Be the equivalent now, an old actor with the chops that could do an old, powerful Maiar.
An older actor who has the chops who could come in and be
Anthony Hopkins, older actor that has the chops.
Weren't we talking a lot about Oscar nominee from A Star Is Born with the big mustache? Sam Elliott. I would love
Interesting.
Sam Elliott to come in and be a Saruman. I would love that.
Okay, so I've
so
worked
much.
with Sam Elliott on the ranch and on A Star Is
I want to
Born.
hear Sam Elliott do a British accent.
But he
I
is
really wanna hear
the
him do
nicest human being in the world. I cannot imagine him being the voice of Sauron.
that. Saruman.
Saruman.
Saruman the White.
Oh.
Saruman the White.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I can
mean,
go there.
We
Yeah,
talked
it's
about
a good
this on-
replacement for Christopher Lee.
Yeah, on another show, we were talking about our affection, and a lot of people are like, no, not him. But an older, established actor who should come back and like, as Sauron. Well,
Anthony Hopkins. James Earl Jones, actually. Not bad.
hey,
Be Vader, Mufasa, and Sauron.
the voice of. But if Sauron is going to appear as Anatar,
Pip's gay. Mine too.
then I think. Let me think about this.
He needs a minute. Do we have the Jeopardy music? Do, 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 do.
Everyone,
do,
all right.
do.
Troy says, I love Benedict's characterization, though. But yeah, it's fair game for any actor. John Malkovich? Okay, Douglas is proposing John Malkovich.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery? As Sauron? Oh, Frank
Interesting.
Langella. Yes. Thank you. That's Eric. Yes. Yes, Eric. Anything with Frank Langella. Yes. Yes.
Isn't he dead?
No, he's not dead. So? He is perfect. Yeah, Frank Langella is awesome for Saruman. That's a great
Why am I not placing
idea.
who this is?
I'm talking Saruman,
No,
the
Frank.
White. Yes, Sean Connery was originally up for Gandalf, and he said, I didn't understand the script, and Gandalf was not the
Tiffany.
role he wanted. He took it down.
Ooh. Jeremy Irons.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons as Sauron. That's pretty good. Mufasa. Say it again.
Okay. I have to read this name. Salmon?
Yeah, it's Salmon.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Salmon. Dragons. Yes. Dragons. Yes. That's all I need
We
to
will
say.
see more about Calagon and any other dragons. Yes, we better have a high quotient of dragons.
Yes, and they better
in
look
this.
as good as they do in Game of Thrones.
Yes. Yes, Terrence Stamp in everything. The original General Zod from the Richard Donner Superman films. Yes,
Morgan Freeman.
Terrence Stamp as Sauron. But I think for the Anatar part of Sauron, you're going to need a younger character actor. Maybe this is where we're going to have two actors playing Sauron.
I don't think we need two actors to play Sauron.
We could. All right. Then who's going to be the one?
But again, I mean, Sauron can be anything he wants to be. He's a shapeshifter. I was like, so we can have an older actor that looks young and it's a different face, but with an older voice. But we can also just have a younger actor that we can literally do anything. He's a shapeshifter.
That's true. And Pete is also correct in saying that even before the wizards actually arrived in Middle
too
Earth,
soon.
Saruman
Sean
was jealous
Bean, they
of
could kill him
Gandalf.
off again.
Oh my gosh. Who? I think Sam Elliott as Saruman, Frank Langella as Saruman would be great. Anthony Hopkins could try. He could try, but I don't see him as Saruman.
I meant him for Sauron.
Oh, for
not-
Sauron? Well, yeah, let's just talk strictly about Anatar / Sauron. This
Although
is
I changed my vote to Jeremy Irons for Sauron because I really think that would be
I
amazing.
think Sauron, if he's going to be shown as Anatar, will not be in the age range of Jeremy Irons or Sean Connery.
But what if it's just a CG character and they just need a voice?
Oh. Okay then. Oh, okay. All right. Jen Bourgeois says Anatar had a fair visage after all. If they're going to portray Anatar, the actor should have a more fairer, beautiful voice rather than a darker one. Yep. And that's why
well,
why I
especially
was
because he
thinking-
deceives the elves, so it would make sense that he would have a voice that kind of mimics the elves.
And well, yeah, he should be rather elf-like and very fair to look upon and good-looking. Oh, as Elijah Wood as Anatar. I think, Jimmy, you're thinking outside the box. I kind of like that. I like that. But how about, am I going to say this? I think I'm going to say this. Okay.
Say it. I'm
You're talking,
edge of my seat right now.
If you're talking like, Timothy Chalamet for young Aragorn, then we should be looking at, I hate to say this, but I wish he wasn't dead, because I would like Anton Yelchin to be involved, and he would be one of the first people I could think of as an excellent Anatar, the giver of gifts.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yes,
absolutely. And I miss him.
I miss him. I miss him dearly.
I wish this hadn't happened to him. It was a tragic, tragic thing.
He used to come into the Viper Room when I worked there all the time.
Really?
Sweet kid.
He's such a great guy. I miss his voice on Guillermo del Toro's Troll Hunters. He was so great. I think Anton Yelchin would have been an excellent possible Anatar. We should think something like that.
I like that everybody's backing me up on the Tom Hiddleston thing, though.
Tom Hiddleston is obvious and a perfect choice, but maybe a little too safe.
Would you guys want, in Bohemian Rhapsody, there's a really fun scene where Mike Myers in heavy makeup says, if you think teenagers are going to be banging their head to this song in 20 years or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
I remember that in Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, I remember
Would
that.
you
Yes.
want the original cast to come back, not necessarily as their characters, but like Elijah Wood shows up as like an innkeeper and makes an inside joke like that in the show where he's like, well, if I had a ring of power, I would do this with it. Is that something that's fun, or does that break the fourth wall too much? And you don't like it?
I wouldn't. That would be just as distracting as having What's-His-Face show up in Game of Thrones and sing a little ditty by the campfire. Who was that?
The red hair guy.
Ed Sheeran. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
100% correct. Okay, I'm with you. I just want to put it out there.
JC's putting out a
I
very
had
clever
completely
idea.
blocked that part of Game of Thrones out of my head.
Where Ed Sheeran
I was
randomly
we
shows
didn't have
up
a
singing.
Oh, Ed Sheeran did do that. Oh. Yes, he did.
Hey, everybody says that I would be a great Sauron. I would love to play Anatar.
Let's start that campaign.
But I don't think I can show up in a blonde wig and elf ears and look all cute and sweet. I can't show up like that.
If they can make Nick Fury and Agent Coulson look young, they can do wonders for you.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's too funny.
Everybody, including Pipsquet, that is still on the board for Tom Bombadil. Yes, I would still love Tom Bombadil in anything ever.
Hey,
ever.
Wait a minute. I just had a brainstorm. What if Riz Ahmed would be cast not as young Aragorn, but as Anatar? Yes! I love that. Anatar. Riz Ahmed could be
Justin and Cliff are having
the
a fight right now.
Sauron/Anatar role. Michael Sheen.
I would love David Tennant as Tom Bombadil. Wow, that would be interesting.
I would love David Tennant in anything as Tom. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Michael Sheen. Yes. Anything. Michael Sheen. Anything.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he's brilliant. Okay. Oh, hey, we're getting a call. Someone's calling the hotline.
Uh-oh, somebody's calling us. Who is it?
You're on the OneRing.net, Torn Tuesday. Where are you calling from?
San Jose, California.
I'm sorry, who's that?
San Jose, California.
Hey, Mr. How are you? Calling from California yet again. How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. What are you thinking about all this?
Well, I like the Tom Hiddleston idea. Tom Hiddleston, a person very familiar. But I think he would fit the description of Anatar being attractive, unassuming kind of guy. So I like that idea.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I also, for me personally, I don't care who they pick, as long as the person fits the role. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Yes.
It should always go for
Very
whoever
good.
has
Very
the
good.
best talent and fits the role.
I
Like,
also think it would be, I assume we would see Celebrimbor also.
Yeah. Well, now, how about that? We haven't mentioned Celebrimbor yet. Who should be cast as the crafter of the rings?
yeah.
That's a great question. So you're right. You're very right in saying that.
That's a good thought about that. I hadn't thought about who might play him, but I think it'd be interesting to see Celebrimbor forging the ring for the elves. That'd be kind of interesting. And we could see like Círdan getting the ring. Círdan the shipwright.
Yes. Yes.
And things like that, and Gil-galad. A little bit more Gil-galad would be nice. We only got to see him like barely in the movie. And I like the idea of seeing Galadriel again, because she's what, like 10,000 years old or something. You know, there's so many possibilities of this time period. But I have an interesting thought about the Tom Bombadil idea.
Bring it.
Yeah, let's hear all about the Tom Bombadil.
Let's hear the Tom Bombadil theory. Bring it.
Well, he's been around for so long, and the elves know him. What if he appears in like a different form in the Second Age?
What if Tom Bombadil appears in a different form in the Second Age?
Like, what do they call him? They call him Yarwain Ben-Adar or something like that.
Yes, Yarwain Ben-Adar. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or, I mean, we could see him in the traditional, yellow hat, or yellow boots and all that stuff. But I wonder if he can change what he looks like. Yeah, I wonder about that.
All right. Now, let's speculate on that. Thank you for calling in. That's a great supposition.
Yes.
And I'm really grateful that you reminded us of Celebrimbor, because we can't talk about Anatar / Sauron without him. Indeed.
Yep, absolutely.
Great call. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And also,
Bye-bye. Thank you.
on
Excellent.
that same note,
Excellent.
Troy in the chat said, and what about Tom Bombadil being the meta-narrator?
I'm all down for that. Some people have said bring in Glorfindel, the great elf lord who's never been adapted into any version of Hobbit or Lord of the Rings in any film format ever. Glorfindel, the most powerful First Age elf who was brought back to life and resurrected and was there to rescue Frodo when the Nazgul were on his ass at the flight to the ford of Bruinen. It was not Arwen, it was Glorfindel. I'm down for the Tom Bombadil, omniscient narrator. I'm down for the Sean Astin. I'm reading to my grandchildren, omniscient narrator. I'm kind of happy. Mostly, I'm in my comfortable place with Elrond, the Lord of Rivendell, being your omniscient narrator. I'm down for all of it, all of it.
Especially
yes,
if they're going to bring Hugo Weaving to reprise his role.
Yeah, but Tom Bombadil is the least
likey.
He's the least involved.
Yes.
He takes himself out of concern for the world.
Sort of the way that hobbits do.
Yeah, exactly. So it might not be a particularly... He probably doesn't have something observant to say or to editorialize about the story that he is telling, because Tom Bombadil is not interested in all the drama and the sturm and drang of the world around him. He isolates himself and doesn't want to be bothered with all that. So I'm thinking, from a writer's perspective, if you want Tom Bombadil in there, it would just be for fan service, but he doesn't have a critical opinion of what he's observing and what he would be narrating. Therefore, he might not be the strongest choice, I'm thinking. But I like him, and I want him back in this. Glorfindel might be there. Galadriel. Maybe it could be Celebrimbor himself, or maybe, shock of all shocks, what if Sauron starts telling his own story from his point of view?
That could be very interesting, and I would be totally down for that. The way that like Disney's been doing twisted tales with villains and stuff, where you see their perspective, I find those stories very. Justin says the world does not need that negativity. It doesn't have to be negative. On his side of it, he might feel positive about everything he's doing. Exactly. Interesting idea. If we're going for an Anatar that is more elf-like in voice and features to deceive the elves, what about Eddie Redmayne?
Yeah, what? Whoa, Eddie Redmayne as Anatar, as Sauron?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Bring it. That's a great bit of casting. That's a great idea. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I'm all for
If
that.
you're
I
not
love that.
placing Eddie Redmayne, we're thinking Fantastic Beasts. The lead.
Wow. Okay. I want to say that Jude Law could come in and be either Elrond's brother.
Oh. Yeah.
I think Jude Law could come in to be Elros. He could also come in to be Celebrimbor. I'm totally down with Jude Law
Absolutely.
being your Celebrimbor. I'm down for that.
I did not see
What do you
King
think,
Arthur.
guys?
Jude Law in general is incredible. I am a big fan of Jude Law.
Yes. All right. Kristen is like, yes. Eddie. The story.
Tiffany's even, oh my God, yes, Eddie.
Yes, Eddie would be great. Yes, and Sauron having a chance because he's never spoken for himself. It's all the other characters speaking.
Ooh, Rami Malek. Interesting.
Rami Malek
He
as
could actually do
Anatar?
it too.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
down. I'm down. I'm
Yeah.
down for Rami Malek to be Sauron.
Rami or Eddie, I'll take either.
Dude, you guys are coming up with some great ideas. I'm so down for that. All right. No, what?
Now, we're talking about Tolkien the movie. Is that where you're wanting to go, Justin?
We're talking about the Fox Searchlight movie that we just launched a poster for this morning. Did
yes,
we not?
Yes, we did.
We did.
This movie is a biopic about the life of J.R.R. Tolkien, and it will come out on May 10th.
You know what? Before we go about talking about...
Everyone in the chat loves Eddie. It's great. This is so good.
We can't let that go. That's the single... This is... All right, you win the show. Chelsea
I
wins
win.
the show today.
Woohoo!
You win. I'm so into this. Wow. Eddie Redmayne could be one of the very... He could be the great Radagast if Sylvester McCoy cannot come back.
Yeah.
Eddie Redmayne would be a deliriously good Radagast. He would be so good as Sauron / Anatar. And I'm getting stuck in my ideas now that Jude Law is my preferred Celebrimbor. I'm all about that. I'm all about it. Because
Absolutely.
I saw The Young Pope on HBO.
Yes.
I'm one of the only people in the world who saw The Young Pope on HBO.
I worked on The Young Pope.
It was a beautiful, beautiful,
We
interesting
shot in
show.
downtown LA.
Really?
Yeah.
Because it looks like they shot everything in Rome.
They did do some in Rome, but
Yeah.
they did a lot of stuff in downtown LA.
That's nuts. Well, it's amazing, and I got some vibes off of Jude that he would be like a second age elf or a third
Absolutely.
age, early third
He's
age elf.
got the soft face features for elf as well.
Yeah.
I was like, so to be somebody that deceives the elves would be amazing.
Gosh, I'm so into that. But the Eddie Redmayne casting is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Oh, just not the version of Eddie from Jupiter Ascending. Okay.
But that just shows you the range that Eddie is capable of.
That's too funny. Okay. All right. So we got the poster up. Is it covering my face?
The poster is not. Is it covering my face? It's not covering it. So the poster's not
poster?
in the shot, apparently.
Okay.
Anyway, so yes,
Okay.
Tolkien, we launched an exclusive poster, which we mentioned at the beginning of the show. This is going to be one of 2 theatrical posters for Tolkien, which comes out May 10th.
There's not. Well, no. There's one poster for the new Dome Kurakowski film, Tolkien. Who said there were 2 posters? Did you?
I thought that's what we said earlier, is that there will be a different poster, that this was the exclusive OneRing.net reveal.
Bye. I guess. Okay. Then I don't know. I'm covered now. Bye. Okay. Here it is. Here's the poster.
Anyway,
oh my gosh,
this
Chelsea.
is the poster. I'll do a little Vanna White.
Hi there. Hi there. Hi. I'm. You guys, yeah, Nicholas Holt. As long as he's not spraying some silver paint in his mouth, then I'm
Yes.
happy to look at him. Yes, he's easy on the eyes. Which one do the fans like? What? Are
Which
there 2
ones
posters?
do the fans like of what? Justin, you're confusing us.
Are there 2 posters up right now?
Okay, so there's 2 posters up right now. Which one do you guys like more?
Yeah, we can't see them.
Magical things appear on this screen that you guys see that we have no idea are happening. So if we ever seem confused, this is why.
Wow. Penny says Cillian Murphy as anybody.
Is anybody?
Yeah, Cillian Murphy can definitely be Glorfindel. He could be...
What about young Aragorn, Colin O'Donoghue? Hook from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That just randomly came to my head.
Colin Donahue. Wow, that could be great.
Yeah.
What about an unknown actor as Celebrimbor? I prefer to not have an actor too known to portray him. Jim Broadbent? I love Jim Broadbent, but who could he play? Celebrimbor? No. Celebrimbor, no. Jim, no, gosh, no.
Justin and Cliff are having a moment again.
I don't know what Justin's talking about. He wants Professor Slughorn to come in and be Celebrimbor.
Yes.
No, Justin, it's not happening. You know what? Now Douglas is onto something. How about Nicholas Hoult, who could be Anatar or Sauron? That sounds cool.
He's Batman? Wait, there's a new Batman?
So Nicholas
Why?
Hoult is going to replace Ben.
Why are there so many Batmans?
Is
Why?
Ben being replaced by Nicholas Hoult? Really?
And I thought
Wow,
Ben
Ben
was
Affleck.
out, but they just weren't going to do any more Batman. Oh my God.
No.
DC, what are you doing? What are you doing, DC? Please, somebody explain to me what they are doing. Everybody says both posters are great. They love both posters. They're gorgeous. So there you go.
They prefer both posters. Well, there's an A and a B poster for many times in any film marketing campaign. There's an A poster.
And a B.
And the B is always a smaller print run, is usually given out at conventions or events or premieres and becomes a collector's item, usually, right? Intriguing. I'm very much intrigued by this this upcoming screening at WonderCon is going to be another opportunity for all the hardcore Lord of the Rings fans to see this extraordinary biography story.
I just found out is going to conflict with my panel at WonderCon, so I'm going to miss seeing
No.
the screening again.
Oh. Wait, let's talk about WonderCon, because here in Southern California, all the fans of fantasy, science fiction, animation, video games, and all good stuff, comic books and geekery, all the geeks of the world unite at WonderCon, which is the
Yes.
final weekend of March.
Yes, it is.
29th,
We're
30th, and 31st.
2.5 weeks away.
Yes. So we have a special panel presentation. The OneRing.net
On
is
Friday?
confirmed. I believe we're confirmed on Saturday.
Justin said it was Friday for the panel.
Okay, I'm going to open up the email. Huh? There's a difference. The Tolkien screening is not what we're talking about. We're talking about the
The panel.
OneRing.net panel, which... Okay.
There's a Tolkien panel as well?
Okay, all right, that's different. We're not talking about that. Let's not confuse the audience. The OneRing.net panel presentation is one of many panels that everyone will be attending, including yours,
Yes.
including another one that we're going to get to in a second. But let me just get this out because it's good housekeeping. Okay, Torn, the OneRing.net, is at 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay, good. I can
Saturday,
make
March
that.
30th at 3 p.m. in room 213 CD, which is Charlie David. 213 CD at WonderCon at the Anaheim Convention Center. Thank you. That's the 30th. When is Fox Searchlight screening the film? We'll get to that in a minute. But there's also a Tolkien panel with the actors and with the director, Dom Korakowski, on Friday, March 29th at WonderCon. We will get those details out on our social media. Where and when is your panel, my dear?
My panel is Saturday at March 30th at 6 p.m. in room 211.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Excellent. And your panel is called?
Finding Your Tabletop Tribe. We're going to talk about all of the things like from D&D to board games and card games and how
Yes.
to find your local nerd community. And that's the basis of the game is you're going to find how to connect with people that have the same interests as you,
Yes.
but through gaming in your town.
Ah, fantastic. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I love tabletop gaming, like all the time. I'm an addict for board games and tabletops and Dungeons and Dragons
Yes.
and you know what? Thanks, Nicholas. I would be very glad to be a narrator of any kind. In fact, I would love to just do the promos.
Yeah.
I would love to just be the narrator who does the promos.
Coming soon to Amazon Prime.
Coming soon to Amazon Prime. Return to Middle-earth.
Yes. Yes, I vote for it. All the things.
I could do that. Okay.
So yeah, if you're coming to WonderCon in Anaheim, come and see us and meet us in person and nerd out with us, and it's going to be fun. And there will be a screening as well that's yet to be full details, I think, for Tolkien, which I apparently am going to miss. But that's besides the point.
Jared Leto would make a gorgeous elf of some kind. Okay, Kristen.
Yes, he would.
Yes, we could have Jared Leto play any of the Third Age elves. You know what would be interesting? If we see the twins, which would be, Hugo Weaving...
And Elros.
Elrond, before his wife left on the ship to go back to Valinor, Elrond and his twins, which would be Eladan and Elrohir, those two guys had lots and lots of adventures. Pretty cool, wouldn't it? To see one actor like Jared Leto play both roles, to play Eladan and Elrohir. That would be weird and fun and interesting. It could happen.
And Leah, or if it's Leia, I always get people's names wrong. I wish you could come to the panel too. And apparently the DCEU has new management, and the Batman is being redone by Matt Reeves, and they have not officially casted Batman yet, is what we're hearing in the...
Okay, that's intriguing. Also, that the DC Extended Universe is going away from the programming of the Marvel films and isolating, or rather focusing on standalone character stories.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, I mean, they did a good job with Wonder Woman, so figure that model out and keep going.
Yes, and that explains Shazam will show up without being really deeply interconnected to the rest of the DC universe.
Which, I mean, we had that with Deadpool and Marvel. It's not really connected.
Aren't they doing The Trench?
I don't know.
Yeah, after the success of Aquaman, they're going to make another movie based on those horrible creatures from The Trench. Yes, they are. So the DC universe is doing some other weird things.
I've pretty
Don't know
much
exactly.
given up on DC. I'm sorry.
I haven't. At least as a book fan, the new Sandman universe, the new comic books
I know,
from
but
DC
that's
are amazing.
Gaiman.
They're
I
so
put
good.
Gaiman in a different category than DC.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for DC Vertigo, then Neil Gaiman would never have found his voice.
All right.
But that's, I should just say...
Speaking of Gaiman, are you excited for the new season of American Gods?
Yes, and I'm excited that Good Omens is going to be coming out.
Oh, yeah.
That's looking really good. That's going to be very, very intriguing. Good Omens. That's a great story. Co-written by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Fascinating. Wow, yeah, Shazam is getting really strong buzz and early good reviews. You know what? Let's think about this for a moment. Fan casting is always fun, but about the Tolkien movie, it is going to be screened at WonderCon. Justin, do we have the details of the screening? Do you know what date and time it is? Saturday evening. That's right, Saturday evening. So if you guys come to WonderCon, you'll get to meet the director. You can talk to Nicholas Hoult and Lily Collins. They'll be at a panel presentation. I will be pulling them aside to do an interview. We're going to get that together. We're going to have all kinds of interesting new merchandise that is being secretly worked on in the background.
Take my money.
Secret merchandise for all the Tolkien fans. And look, we've never had his life story in a feature film. This is a big deal for us. I'm very much looking forward to it. Very much. Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it yet. I was supposed to go in December, and I got in the car wreck, and I didn't have a way to get to the screening.
Oh, dear.
And then now I'm going to be missing it because it will be during my panel.
During your panel? It's at the same time as your panel?
That's what we're hearing, yes.
Because I don't want to miss your panel. I want to come to your panel. But, oh, bloody hell.
But
Oh,
you've seen
bloody
it
hell.
already, right? Have you seen Tolkien?
Yes, I have. Yes.
So then you can come to the
I
panel
saw
because
it.
you've seen it.
I saw an early cut. And yes, I can come to your panel,
Yes.
absolutely.
And then we can hightail it for the whatever might be happening for after party or hanging out with Tolkien fans after the screening from my panel.
Okay, groovy. That sounds super groovy.
Which we should totally arrange some sort of everybody goes somewhere and talks about it afterwards. That'd be fun.
Did someone say Silver Surfer? It's time for the Silver Surfer and Galactus to shake up the MCU. Yeah, you know what,
Yeah.
my friend? Raul, that is probably very likely to happen
what? Speaking
in
of the MCU.
next phase of the MCU.
We've got 12 minutes here. And you have seen Captain Marvel now, and Captain Marvel has officially been out for 5 days.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Captain Marvel.
We should talk about Captain Marvel and Lee Pace, who plays Ronan. And
yes. Thranduil.
Yeah.
The king of the elven wood, the green wood. He is, I really wanted to see him get his ass handed to him. I wanted to see a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? Delayed satisfaction.
Yes, absolutely.
Totally you know what they say in show business, always leave the audience wanting more. Well, I didn't get the fight that I wanted to see. I really enjoyed the movie.
I didn't get the fight that I wanted to see either, and it wasn't even about that. I just really thought we would see her come into her own more. And I felt like the fight just ended right as we started to discover things, and the movie was like, all right, see ya in April, which I can't wait for Endgame. I cannot wait for Endgame.
Me too. I can't wait for Endgame. Okay, Dale, to your question, Dale, in the Facebook chat. Hello, new to the stream. That's cool, Dale. Welcome to the show. We talked about this at the very, very top of the hour.
We did.
So we might as well mention it one more time at the end of the hour.
We are not ruling out that young Aragorn could still be part of the series. And we do think that these maps could very much be just a marketing ploy, or it could be an intertwined web of timelines. So
yes.
we have not ruled anything out yet.
Yes. So, yeah, he was asking if the second age map automatically disqualifies that young Aragorn would be the opening stage of Season 1. And to that end, I say, we are proposing this general idea that the online maps include third age and second age and no bloody age at all, because one of them is blank. Yeah. All of those interactive maps most likely represent an online wiki of pre-release information so that they can give us context, heroes, locations, and famous cities and the locations of famous battles. I don't think it's an indicator that we even know yet what series Season 1 will be.
We talked about the maps being interactive and serving as like an encyclopedia or a wiki. What if they also end up doing things like the map in Harry Potter, Mischief Managed, where we can see like movement on the map?
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool.
That'd be really fun.
They could use an interactive version where we, in between episodes, are actually seeing characters move slowly from place to place across the geography of the land. And then a week later, we might look at that map. Are you listening, Amazon? Yes, you are. I know you are.
We know you're listening.
That could be really cool. We could look at it, and before the next week's episode, we could see how much movement has happened in the narrative of the story.
Absolutely. A way to keep people wanting for the next episode, especially if they're going to release the episodes once at one weekly, like they did with Romanovs. If they drop it all at once, it doesn't work as well. But it would be a great way to keep people engaged between episodes.
They're probably going to broadcast, the camera's just flying through the wind now. The truth is, I expect that young Aragorn is still going to be an entry point in Season 1, but there will be lots of flashbacks, and there could be considerable content online about the creation of the rings, or I'm wrong, everybody's wrong, and Season 1 will start with Sauron trying to deceive Celebrimbor.
Yep.
It could be all about the second age.
Deceive them into some trickery to create these rings of power.
It's all about the trickery, isn't it?
Yes.
Because when Galadriel says in the opening minutes of Fellowship of the Ring, she says, but they were all of them deceived.
Yes.
That is a big clue that Amazon really might want to take us behind that word, deceived. And that story of the forging of the rings is some of the best meat and potatoes that we could get. So maybe we're going to get a bunch of that. Maybe it will be in flashbacks with young Aragorn. We don't know. We'll find out. What do you think? All right. Yeah, thank you, Dale. Love to have you on the program. All right. Can't Viggo Mortensen play young Aragorn? You mean, who's Henry? Oh, you mean Viggo's son, Henry.
Interesting.
Well, that could be cool.
How old is Henry?
I don't know. How old is Henry Mortensen?
I don't know. If
Does he
knows,
have any
let us
acting experience?
Well, they can always learn that.
That's true. I'm excited about all this stuff. I really am.
So
really
we're in the
about
final
all this.
minutes here. We should probably do some housekeeping and things.
We want to encourage all the fans to find us on social media and make plans to come to WonderCon. If you are
Yes.
in Southern California or if you're in Northern California, come to the Anaheim Convention
Or
Center.
even wherever you are in the world, come to Anaheim and
Yeah.
do WonderCon and stay for Disneyland.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a chance to meet young J.R.R. Tolkien, played by Nicholas Hoult. Meet Lily Collins. Meet the director, Dome Korokowski. They're going to be giving a great panel. I'm going to be trying to interview them. We, the OneRing.net, are giving our own crazy-ass presentation about all this Amazon stuff and the map. And
Saturday at 3 p.m.
boy, oh boy. Yeah, how about, and your panel.
And my panel, Finding Your Tabletop Tribe, Find Your Nerd Community in Your Town, Saturday at 6 p.m. And so room 213 CD and room 211 for mine.
Yep, we're in
And
room, the OneRing.net is on Saturday at the last Saturday of March, which I believe is the 30th, at room 213, Charlie Daniels, CD.
Yes.
All right, now, here's the real thing. Before we sign off, everybody, I am so grateful for my co-host, Chelsea, for being a surprise part of all this chaos and for throwing out the idea of Rami Malek and
Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, the Eddie Redmayne idea is one of the best ideas I've heard in years. To have him be as Anatar/Sauron.
It would be amazing.
And for those folks who would like to come hang out with us, we've got all these beautiful people here at Scum and Villainy. We've got a live crowd here. We are broadcasting to all the Lord of the Rings fans around the world here on the OneRing.net. If you want to come by, come
to Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood. We're at
Come join
Hollywood in Cahuenga. We're here every Tuesday from 5 to 6:30. We would love for you to be part of our show.
Yes. Now, since I've got this live audience here, hey guys, cast of hands, who is aware of Amazon Studios spending $500 million on the new Lord of the Rings TV series? Only 1 out of a dozen people? Is that now 3? 3 out of a dozen are aware, all right? Are you guys aware that they've also licensed all of the footage that Peter Jackson used in his 6 films? Did you know that they licensed the costumes, the music, the effects, the architecture, everything from Middle-earth they have the license for?
Yes.
Would you like to see unused footage of Samwise opening up the Red Book and reading to his grandchildren and telling stories of the past of Middle-earth? Yes? We want more Sean Astin?
Yes.
Yeah? Thumbs up? All right, yes.
All right, people,
Hey,
everyone's
you know what?
excited.
The whole crowd is screaming and applauding for you, Sean Astin. Sean,
Sean, are you listening?
don't sit this one out, Sean. Don't sit this
You
one
know
out.
that Sean wants to be
Come
involved,
back.
though. Sean loves
All right.
us.
Me,
Yes, he does.
I want this so bad. I would actually be very happy, again, for Hugo Weaving to come back and be Elrond,
And
the
I'd
Lord
love
of
for Kate
Rivendell.
Blanchett to come back as
Okay.
Galadriel as well. So let's see what happens there. I want to thank everybody
awesome.
that is watching, whether you're chatting with us or just simply observing. We appreciate you and we love you and thank you for being part of the best fandom there is.
Yes.
I also
You guys
want-
are the best.
And I want to thank Cliff for having me here, co-hosting with him week after week. And Cliff, you are amazing, and I adore you.
Oh my God. I am not sure what to say except a little acknowledgement goes a long way. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's
And I
really
feel the
fun
same.
to. I don't feel like a lot of people can out nerd me, and you do in a lot of ways, and it's a really fun conversation every time. I adore it.
But we're never jockeying for competition.
Oh no, it's not a competition. But like to be able to actually, usually when you start nerding out and you talk to someone, their eyes glaze over
Yes.
and they just become quiet, and then they're like, "So I gotta go," and Cliff just gets excited and like throws it right back in my face. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, we have a lot to look forward to, and I love it as well. I love to to shine with you. You help me shine with your the knowledge, the great encyclopedic knowledge you have of Disney ephemera and all these other cool geek things. And I can barely keep up with you. I can, honey.
Thank you.
But if you get me on a roll with the history of Arda and what happened in the Silmarillion and blah blah blah, I'm just gonna start.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go nuts on that, like I usually try to
And
do.
I love it. It's so good.
You guys.
If you guys want to
you guys
find
are
us
awesome.
online and keep chatting with us between shows on Tuesdays,
Yes.
I am at Uncool Rockstar on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find Cliff at QuickBeam2000.
That's right. QuickBeam, like a beam of light or what Tolkien really meant was a beam of wood. Quick Beam 2000, the young friend of Treebeard. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and all kinds of mischief. And thewondering.net is all over social media.
Absolutely.
Follow
Make sure
us,
you're
find
liking
us.
and subscribing
Find
and
us.
everything for thewondering.net. And otherwise, we will be
Yes.
back here, same time, same place, next Tuesday.
Yep.
And let's see what other exciting news we can find out about this series in this next week.
Yes,
Feels like we're
Jennifer?
getting stuff every few days.
Jennifer, we are the tribe. I love Jennifer. Jennifer, you are so awesome. You've been one of our original audience members for over 7 years. We've been broadcasting a live stream, although nobody even knows this except for you guys online. But for 7 years, we've brought all of our energy and all of our excitement and thoughts and even a lot of great guest stars. We have had the best
Absolutely.
guests to come in and talk with us, including, you know, Michael Pellerin, who make all the behind the scenes for Peter Jackson's films. And we've interviewed
Various actors.
Peter
and-
Sword King, who does the wigs. We've interviewed
Yep.
special effects director Jim Rigel, Oscar winner, visual effects
Yep.
people, and the people who make the swords, the people who do the behind the scenes. We've interviewed them all. Thank you for being part of our show.
And
all
if
of you
you've
guys.
missed any of those great episodes, they're all archived back on YouTube. You can watch those.
They are.
I also want to say Pipsky just said that she can out-nerd me. She's had a Lord of the Rings meetup group since 2001. If you're in, I believe you're in San Antonio, Texas, join her meetup group and find your local tribe. I also want to say that when I grew up in Texas, I had a Peregrine Took website. I had an entire website that I created and maintained that was all things Peregrine Took.
All things Peregrine Took.
Yes.
Fool of a Took.
So.
Throw yourself in next time and rid us of your stupidity.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Seriously, this has been a great chat today.
It has been an excellent show. Chelsea, thank you. And Justin, who's behind the scenes.
Woo, woo,
doing
give it
all
up for
the-
Justin.
all the
Woo.
bells and whistles and the knobs and the technical jiggery pokery. Justin looks like he's buried in a Terry Gilliam film back there in the control room. God bless you, Justin. Thanks for being part of this, and thanks for everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday right here on thewondering.net, live from Scum and Villainy Cantina. Thank you for joining us, all you Hobbit lads and lasses. Take
Yes.
good care of yourselves. Until next time,
Until next time.
buenos noches y buena suerte.
Shalom.
Woo! Boom! Nice, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much. Woo! All right, yes. Oh, and the really good news is Howard Shore says, bring me back. I will write music for this series for Amazon. So he said that, so we're going to have that.